Imagine a man whose eyes could freeze a room, whose silence spoke louder than gunfire. He stared down legends, survived wars, and clawed his way back from the edge of oblivion. But late one night, in a quiet interview, he revealed the 7 souls who earned his deepest respect, not for fame, but for truth. This is the story of a forgotten gunslinger who became unforgettable. He came into the world on a cold January day in 1925, in a small New Jersey town, right as the Great Depression gripped the nation. Money was scarce, hope scarcer, yet hardship carved something unbreakable in him: discipline, grit, a refusal to quit. Before the cameras ever found him, he answered a greater call. He joined the Navy during the Second World War, serving on a sweeper, listening through the dark ocean for threats that could end everything in an instant. Courage wasn't a choice, it was survival. When the war ended, he tried ordinary life. Numbers on a ledger as an accountant, colors on canvas as a painter. But the stage whispered louder, his voice deep, commanding drew eyes the moment he stepped into a theater. Soon, Hollywood called. His first role, a wordless killer in a landmark western, stalking the hero through dust and shadow. No lines, just a glare that burned into memory. From there, the 1950s swallowed him whole. He became the face you loved to hate, the outlaw with the crooked smile, the henchman who never blinked. Film after film, he played the villain so well, people forgot he was acting. But fame is a cruel partner. By the early 60s, a devastating car crash shattered his body and nearly his spirit. Pain became constant. Roles dried up. The industry moved on, leaving him in low-budget shadows and guest spots on fading TV shows. Hope flickered. Then, across the ocean, an Italian visionary saw what America had missed: a quiet storm beneath the surface. He cast him as a bounty hunter with a code, opposite a rising star. Overnight, everything changed. The film exploded. Audiences couldn't look away from this older gunman, scarred, deliberate, human. His career didn't just revive, it roared back to life. The next year, he returned in an epic showdown of greed and grit, playing a devil in black with ice in his veins. Critics called it one of the greatest westerns ever made. Europe crowned him a king of the genre. He headlined films with titles that echoed like gunshots, revenge tales, showdowns, sagas of lone wolves and broken men. For the first time, he wasn't just working, he was worshipped. If this story touches your heart, please share it. Yet behind the myth was a man few truly knew. He kept his world small: family, close friends, a ranch where the wind carried away the noise of fame. He painted in silence, sailed when the sea was calm, loved deeply, even when it hurt. 3 marriages marked his life like chapters in a weathered journal. The first began in wartime, a young sailor and his anchor through storms. She stood by him as he traded uniforms for spotlights, but distance grew. After 15 years, they parted. 2 years later, he married again, this time as his star rose. She walked red carpets during his European triumph, shared hotel rooms between continents, but the road took its toll. In 1974, that chapter closed too. Then, in 1976, he found peace. His third wife brought stillness to his later years. They faced heart trouble together, attended premieres hand in hand. She was there until the end. He kept working: action films, TV series, even playing a ninja master in the 80s. Grinning at the irony, age slowed him, but never stopped him. And through it all, he watched, learned, respected. Late in life, someone asked, "Who do you admire most?" Not the loudest, not the flashiest, the real ones. He named 7. First, the quiet gunslinger who shared his comeback. He didn't act tough, he said, he just was. One look, and the scene belonged to him. A single pause carried more weight than a monologue. Silence, he learned, could be thunder. Next, a silver-screen gentleman with a moral core. He never overplayed, never needed to. You believed every word because he did. Restraint wasn't weakness, it was power. Then, the tall marshal from that first big film. Stand still for 30 seconds, say nothing, and break your heart. That's mastery. Dignity without effort, courage without noise. Another was a hard-edged survivor, like Himmler, blooming, steel in his eyes, truth in his bones. He earned every frame. 2 men who paid dues in blood and time. He smiled, recalling a wild co-star from the desert epic, knew his character better than himself. Breakfast, backstory, all of it. You couldn't out-prepper him. Humor in darkness, life in death. Even a giant of the old guard earned his nod. Larger than life, His way worked. He carried the West in his walk. No pretense, just presence. Finally, a surpriser, refined sharpshooter with theater in his blood, elegance and danger, walked in, owned the room, made cowboys look like royalty. What tied them all? Truth. Doesn't matter if you're hero or villain, he said. If they believe you, you've won. But here's the twist. Those 7 weren't just idols. They were mirrors. He passed in 1989, just 64. Taken by a heart weakened by years of strain and illness. The screen dimmed. An era ended. Yet his shadow still falls across every dusty street, every cold stare in a showdown. He wasn't just the bad guy. He was the soul behind the mask, vulnerable, thoughtful, real. His legacy isn't in box office tallies or awards. It's in every actor who chooses truth over flash. Every storyteller who knows silence can scream. He rose from a small-town boy to a global icon, not by luck, but by never surrendering his core. If this journey moved you, if it reminded you that second chances exist, that respect is earned in the quiet moments, then hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories of the overlooked legends, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because some fires don't die, they just wait for the wind.